Okay, so this is our Zoom call for February 29th, 2006. Happy leap year. Um, we'll start with a prayer and then we'll get started. I'll try to keep us out before 8:40 or 8:45 or 9 or so. So if you'll just pray with me for a minute. Father God, just thank you for this time. Thank you for Kristen making a slot available in her day to be on this call. And thank you just for anyone who is able to watch later or join later. We pray that this time would honor you. We pray that everything we do in our business would honor you, and that we just keep you the forefront and the center, that this business is not about us. It's not even about our customers, but it's about honoring you and bringing glory to your name. It's in your son's name we pray. Amen. Okay, so we're going to go over the comp plan, which I know you know some of it, but since this is recording, I'm going to go over in a little bit of detail for people who might not know. Yeah. And, of course, if you have any questions or anything, please ask them, obviously. So I'm going to do a screen share, which is I think this is how this works. Okay, can you see my computer now, my computer screen?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So when you log into your back office, if you go to communications and then library, multimedia library is like videos, training videos, that sort of thing. And the library is like documents. So if you go in there and then scroll down, you can see all the, I keep motioning with my hand, like you can see my hand. Sorry about that. So if you scroll down or whatever, you can see there's all kinds of forms and notes and everything else in here. But when you log in, if you go to the Plexus compensation plan, that like spells everything out in detail and gives you scenarios and gives you, examples, stuff like that. I always just go to the summary chart because it's just easier, I think. So while that loads, here's the summary chart, and this shows you all 11 ways that we get paid. Now, I think, anyway, if it were me, I would have laid it out on the screen differently, but they didn't ask me, and it probably fits neater on the page this way. But I like to start with where most people get paid first, which is going to be down here on the bottom. So if you look down here, let's see if I can highlight it. Down here in blue. Can you see that, Kristen?
Yes.
Okay. Does that make it better?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So if you, down here on the very bottom where it says retail rewards, this is the first way you're ever going to get paid. And this is just when you place an order, when your customers place an order, whoever is ordering from you rack up what's called PV, personal volume. After you get 100, then you start getting commission. So you'll see down here in this box where it says 0 to 99, you don't get any commission. That's because the first 100 that you sell goes back to the company. That's like their take, and how they make money. Then after that, anywhere from 100 to 499.99, you get 15%. So if you sell, 350, if your total PV is 350, you subtract out the 100 from here that goes to the company, so you're getting 250 at 15%, which would be, I don't know, it's late. Use my calculator. So you would get 250 times 15%, you'd make $37.50 just in this one box. Now, once you kick up to 500 and above, now it doesn't matter if you have 500 or 6,000. Once you hit 500, everything is 25%. So again, if you have 501, you take out the 100 that goes first to the company. So you're getting commission on 401, but it's at 25%, not at 15. So you'd be getting $100 that month. So that's always the first way you're going to get paid, usually for most people, is just on your sales. So that's what that box means, and that's how that breaks down. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That part? Okay. So then if you go up just 2 boxes right here where it says this preferred customer bonus. This box here, this is, customers have 3 ways to buy: retail, which is just a one-time order; preferred, which means they're getting it auto shipped every month; and then of course wholesale, which means they've joined your team. But preferred bonuses go to you. So when you get a preferred customer, not only do they count here in your PV towards that commission, but you get a bonus for whatever they order. So let's say you have a customer who orders the triplex combo and an X Factor. Well, you would find the triplex combo here, which means you get $20 added to your commission, and then the X Factor is another $5. So, and that's not a percent. It's just you get that amount, whatever amount is in that box for the product that they've ordered, and that's each month that they order it preferred. So it's not like a one-time thing. That's every month that they get their shipment. You get that bonus too. So that's usually the second way people get paid. So you get your commission check first, or it's all rolled in together, but you get your commissions first and your bonuses on top of that, which that's why it's good to get preferred customers. One, it's cheaper for them. They don't have to remember to reorder every month. But 2, you get those added bonuses thrown in there too. So
right.
That's always a fun. And that actually can make up quite a bit of your check. And I'll show you if I can find mine. That's usually the biggest part of your check. So if you can see here, this is my check for last month. And you see the retail rewards. This is just my commission right here. And then the preferred customer bonuses. I have a lot of preferred customers, so I get bonuses on all their products. So you can see just those 2 things are the biggest part of my paycheck every month.
Right.
Which is probably the same for most people until you start, getting really high up. So those are the first 2 ways. And then everything else after that starts going on to building your business. So even if you have somebody who says, I don't want to work it as a business, or I just want wholesale pricing. Well, if they can get 2 or 3 friends on and they're getting these preferred customer bonuses and the commission, they can easily get their products paid for without having to do all the other stuff, without having to have a team, and without having to have, 10,000 people on their team or whatever.
Right.
So that's one thing to think when you're talking, with potentials who are like, I don't want to work this as a business, but I'd like to get my products paid for. Well, they just need those 2 boxes and 3 or 4 customers, depending on what they're ordering, and their products are totally paid for every month. So just something to keep in mind there. Okay, then the third way to get paid is when you start building your team. So that's where you go up to the very top box, where over here it has all the ranks. Oh, that highlighted everything. Over here on the left where it has all the ranks. Just when you sign up, if you want to be a wholesale ambassador, which means you're not working anything, you're an associate, which means you don't have a backup order in place. You're not getting something shipped every month. You just paid your membership fee. That's it. You're an associate. You see, you get nothing in this line here. Then once you do have your backup in place, your auto qual in place, and that doesn't mean it ships out every month. That just means you have it turned on in the back office. Once you do have that in place, then you're an ambassador. And you get paid on you.
Yeah.
And then you kick up to senior ambassador, which means you have 2 people on your team, 2 that you have signed on. So like I signed you and, April. So now I'm senior ambassador because I have 2 people. But notice that's personally sponsored. That's not like you signed on somebody and then they signed on somebody. You have to have 2 under you. But again, you don't get any of this other stuff yet. And then once you hit silver, this is when you start getting paid on your business. So you have 3 personally sponsored ambassadors, and that's all you have to maintain. It's just 3. But once you do that, you get a $100 bonus. That is a one-time bonus. So if you got, if you turn silver in February, you get a $100 bonus on your March paycheck. So that's kind of fun. It's a little incentive. Who doesn't like $100? Excuse me. So once you do that, you start getting paid on your levels 1 through 5. Now the levels just mean, like, if I signed you on, you're my level 1. Whoever you sign on is my level 2. Whoever they sign on is my level 3. And it just builds down and down from there. So I'll get paid on 5 levels down. And then the more you build, let's go down here real quick. Once you start adding people, in this little box down here, this business building bonus, when they sign on, so they pay their website fee and they order a welcome pack, any welcome pack, one of the $100 ones or the $200 ones, you get a bonus on that. It's called a business building bonus. So you can see down here in this box, if they sign on directly under you, you get, it really comes out to a fourth. You get half of the cost of half of their welcome pack. So that can be kind of confusing. So if they buy the $100 welcome pack, the company gets $50, and then they take the other 50 and divide it among the levels down. So you get half of that 50, so you get 20. It's like $24.98, I think. And then the person above you, so like Kristen, if you sign somebody on and they buy the $100, you get $24. I get half of that, so I get $12. Heather gets 15% of that, so she's getting, I don't know what that is, $8 or something. And then Rainey gets 10. So it goes up and up. Mm-hmm. So it's not just you sign somebody on and you get a bonus. If your team is signing people, you still get bonuses. So that's fun, you know. And that's kind of where the residual income comes in. You pour into your team, and they're pouring into other people, and you're getting paid for their work too.
Right.
You know, so that's kind of fun. Sorry. So that's when you start building your team. So as you're building your team, we come back up to this box. And once you hit gold, which, you know, you still have your 3 personally sponsored ambassadors, but your team is starting to build. They're starting to add people. Maybe you're adding more people, whatever. Once you hit 100 points, then you're gold. And you get a $250 bonus, which is exciting. So sorry, I'm kind of jumping all over. So if you go down to the points here, every person that you sign on is your level 1 here. I'm in this point earned by level, is your level 1. When they meet their $100, when they meet their 100 PV, you've earned 5 points. So that's where up here where it says silver, it doesn't have it right here. It's 15 points is what you have to be silver. So, you know, you've got 3 people times 5 points each, you're at 15 points. You're silver. Well, to get gold, you've got to get 100 points. Sorry, you can't see that. You've got to get 100 points, and 15 of those have to be out of your biggest leg. I'll explain the legs in the power of 3. But so you have to have 100 points. The points come from the points earned by level, which is that box over here. Every level 1 that you have that meets their 100 PV is 5 points. So if you've got 5 people and they all meet their 100 PV, you've got 25 points. 5 times 5 is 25. Now, when they start building their business, that helps you too. So any level 2s, you get 5 points. Any level 3s, you get 5 points. And then it starts going down from there. You know, your 4s are 4 points, your 5s are 3 points, your 6s and your 7s. But you don't earn those points until they meet their 100 PV. So for instance, if we go over here to my tree, you can see, so this level here is all my level 1s. So you can see I've got 5 points for Emily, 5 points for Angie, 5 points for you, 5 points for Michelle, for Ashley. I do not have 5 points for Amy because she's not at her 100 yet. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so even though I've signed her and she has her auto qual on, all that stuff, I don't get 5 points for her until she meets her 100. So that's how you can have the right number of ambassadors, but if they're not meeting their PV, it's not helping you. And then, again, back here, I get 5 points for my level 2s and 5 points for my level 3s. So I've got another, 5, 10, 15. I don't have this one, but I do have this one, but I don't have this one. So even though I have 13 ambassadors, which would get me, I seriously cannot do math right now.
65?
Yeah, thank you. 65. Like, I should be able to do that, right? 5 times 13. Anyway, it's late. So I have the potential to get 65 points. I don't have that right now because some of these are missing. They haven't reached their 100. So I think I'm sitting at 40 points right now, which is not a bad thing, but it's that goal of trying to get everybody on your team to work it and get their 100.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how you get the points, and that is how you start ranking up. So, gold, you have to have 100 points. Senior gold, you have to have 250. Once you hit ruby, you have to add another level 1. And like you can see here, I have enough level 1s to be diamond. You only have to have 7 level 1s.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have nearly enough points for that. So it kind of, it's kind of puzzle pieces that you got to have all the pieces of the puzzle fitting in before you can rank up. So does that part make sense?
Yes.
Up here? Okay. So that's all the ranks. And with each rank, you start getting the bonuses. And again, these are one-time bonuses once you achieve that rank. Now, what you see over here in this earnings, this is, let's see, what number are we on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is like number 6 way you get paid. Remember, there's 11 ways. Once you hit emerald, which is the first jewel, they call it, if you've heard of, oh, she's a jewel, it just means they're emerald or above. Once you hit emerald, notice you don't get the achievement bonuses anymore. Not a bad deal, because you start getting a share in the emerald pool, which means they take the earnings from all of Plexus, every ambassador, anywhere. They take all the sales and they divide it, or they give the emeralds 3%. So you get 3% of the total earnings of the company. And actually, I should have asked Heather to come on for this part. I think she said for her that accounts for like $2,000 or $3,000 in her check every month, maybe more. I could be wrong. It could be more, but I mean that's just a given. $2,000 every month. I think it's more than that. I don't know. But anyway, you don't need that $1,000 bonus because you're getting this every single month, which is kind of cool. Then once you hit sapphire, you get the emerald pool and you get the sapphire pool, which is an extra 1%. So you're getting 4% of the company's earnings every month. And then of course, once you hit diamond, you're getting emerald, sapphire, and diamond. So you're getting 5% of the company's earnings every single month, which is crazy. When you think Celeste posted a month or so ago that just her team, one of her teams, had like 16 million in sales or something like that, and she's, well, I guess she counts for 2 of the diamonds, but she's 2 out of like 20 diamonds or something. Like, that's just crazy. I don't know. Anyway, that starts adding up real fast, which is why you don't get the achievement bonus, but I'll take those.
Right.
So that's 6, 7, and 8 that you get paid. I did not talk about the pay points. So the points you have to have to rank up. These are, the listings right here of how many points you have to have in your organization. It's not just that you have to have those, you get paid for those. So however many points you have, you get paid. What they do is they take the total, I have to figure this out. They take the total amount of sales for the company. So let's say I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't do math. But they take the total number of sales divided by the total number of ambassadors across the whole company. So if it's, I'm just going to pick a low number just because I need low numbers right now. So if they have $500 in sales and they have 10 ambassadors over the company, well, that's $50. So that's how they assign the pay point, the value to the pay point. And it usually comes out to like 260, somewhere between 260 and 3, every month. So whatever amount of points you have multiplied by the pay point value, you get that added to your check. So if we go back over here, you'll see, where is it? This bonus pool, it's listed bonus pool. That's my amount of points, which this month I have 40, times whatever the pay point is for this month. It's usually higher than 270, but I do 260 just to be on the low end if I'm trying to figure out my check. So I'll get 40 times 260, which is whatever, $100. I don't know. I'm just throwing out that number. That's not right. But so that just gets added to your check. So that's another way you're getting paid just for having a team that's working their businesses. So you can see that doesn't make up a ton of my check, but it's an extra $70.
Right.
You know, and I can't remember how many points I had last month, but it was less. So it's just, you know, you can see how it starts adding up, and I'm not getting all these payments down here, but I'll take this check, you know, for right now anyway. So that's the pay points. So anyway, let me stop. Do you have any questions over that?
Mm-mm.
Does that that makes sense? So yeah, so that's how you rank up, is by adding people to your team. They're adding people to their team, and everybody's meeting their 100 PV. And has their auto qual turned on. Notice they have to have it turned on. Or it doesn't, you know, they could have 500 PV and it doesn't matter. So that's the pay points. Now, if we go back down to the bottom, this part I don't talk about a whole lot because it doesn't happen a whole lot. Doesn't mean it doesn't happen. It's not very common. You can get a fast start achievement bonus, which is in your first 30 days. So you sign on February 1st. And by March 1st, you've reached gold. Well, they will double that achievement bonus. So instead of 250, you'll get 500. If you reach senior gold in your first 30 days, instead of 350, you'll get 700. Like I said, I don't have anybody on our team that has done it. And even on Team All In, I only know of one who's done it, but that's not to say it can't be done. But that's another way you could get paid if you're in your first 30 days, is to rank up very quickly. And then let's see, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Here we go. So when you do start building your team and they start getting their 100 points, you get override commissions. Now notice this is only on your level 1s. You don't get any level 2s, level 3s, level 4s, none of that. But on your level 1s, you get commission too. So it's kind of the same as over here. For the first 100, nothing. That goes to the company. For the 100 and up, you get an extra 5%. So, so like last month, this retail overrides, I got an extra $60 just because you guys made your 100 PV, you know, and added above that. So I got $60. So
Yeah.
thank you. I'll take that. But you know, that's just incentive to keep your teammates going and keep them adding customers and ambassadors and that sort of thing. You do get a bonus on their stuff too. So that's kind of fun. I mean, I know that's really quick, but really that's the compensation plan. It's really not too complicated. There are a lot of pieces to it, but I don't feel like any of them are super hard to figure out. But if you do, if you do have questions, ask them. You're not going to know if you don't ask the question. So, do you have any questions on that? Does that make sense?
Nope, makes sense.
Makes sense. Okay, good.
I've also heard it a couple times.
Right. I
It
know
didn't
that.
make total sense the first time.
Yeah, the first 2 or 3 times you hear it, you're like, okay, I got this one part. And then you got to keep building on the other parts.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the compensation plan. So if you're watching the recording and you have a question, call me, text me, add when I post the recording, you can write on that thread or whatever if you have a question. But hopefully that all makes sense. It's not too difficult. Okay, so this, I know you're in my Facebook now. Sorry. I gotta find this picture again. Here it is. So the power of 3. This is, we talk about you just need 3 people. Like for the compensation plan, you just need 3 people to go silver. That's it. You just need those 3 people to get 3 people. You just need those 3 people to get 3 people. People want to get in the business, but they go, well, I don't know that many people. Or I'm going to have 50 people on my team to reach this certain level. Well, yeah, but that's not like you have to go out and get 50 people all by yourself. So the power of 3 is just, if you look at this handy dandy picture that Rainey posted last year. So you've got you sign on and you get, you turn silver. You get your first level 3s or your first level 1s. Those are all 5 points, okay, which we talked about in the compensation plan. And then you help by training, or if they have a potential that they want to meet with, but they're not sure what to say, you go meet with them, you call them on the phone, whatever. You just help those 3 people find their 3 people. So now you've only talked to your 3 friends, but they've each talked to 3 friends. And now you've got 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12 people on your team. And you only had to talk to 3 of them. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So it really is duplication. Just, okay, here's what I did. Here's what I know. This is all you have to do, and then, of course, those 3 people get their 3 people. And those 3 get their 3. And it just builds and builds. And then down here, you can see how quickly it builds. So if you have 3 level 1s, you're getting 5 points. You've got 15 total points. If the pay point, and sometimes it does get to 3, not super often, but sometimes it does. They're just doing this for easy math for us.
Yeah.
Non-mathematical folk at 9:00 at night, which is me. So, that's $45 added to your check on top of all the other stuff that we talked about. If those 3 your level 1s get their 3, now you've got 9. Yeah. Plus, times 5, which is 45 points, which is 180. Well, you add these 2, so 60 points, because you've got 45 on your level 2s and 15 on your level 1s. So you've got 60 total points times 3 apiece. That's an extra 180 on your check.
Yeah.
Pretty simple. And you can just see how it builds and builds and builds. So if everybody on your team just gets 3 people and they all meet their 100, and that duplication keeps happening all the way through level 7. I mean, look at that astronomical number. Like, that's every month. You could be getting that every month only on pay points.
Mm-hmm.
Not mentioning the other 10 ways to get paid in the company. And again, that's just you finding 3 and them finding 3 and them finding 3. It's not that you went out and found, how many people is this? It's not that you went out and found 2,200 people. Nobody, well, I'm not going to say nobody. Most people don't know that number of people, especially well enough to sign them onto a business. But we all know 3 people, easy, who could sign on, who could do this business, who could meet their 100 every month. They all know 3 people who could sign on, who could do the business, who could meet their 100 every month. So it really is just duplication and not, you don't want to become stagnant. You don't want to go, okay, well, I'm at my 3, y'all go do your thing. I'm done. You still want to be building it, because not everybody's going to work the business, and that's fine. But you find 3 who will, and you run with them, and you say, okay, we can do this, and you go for it, and it adds up so quick. And again, if you have this number of ambassadors, you're diamond, you're getting the points, and you're getting all those other pay levels as well. So that's the power of 3. Again, it's not hard. It's not rocket science. It's just you find 3 who are going to work it, and you help them find their 3 and train them to help their 3 find their 3. And the duplication keeps happening. And before you know it, you've got 2,200 ambassadors on your team. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Like I say, none of this business is hard. None of it is like, oh my gosh, you have to be, a rocket scientist to figure all this out. But it is taking the time to know your products, to know the compensation plan, and to be able to relate that to tell that to somebody else. And if you can do those things, you can work this business. Really, I don't really have much else to add to the power of 3. It's not hard. Do you have any questions about that, or about how to?
It was a good explanation.
And save this picture on your, or print it out and put it in your little binder, because it's not hard. And I think people don't want to sign on because they think, oh, I'm going to have to sign on everybody I know just to make some money. No, you don't.
Mm-hmm.
You need to sign on 3 people, But like I said, yes, work the power of 3. Don't depend on once you turn silver, okay, I'm set and now my business is going to explode.
Right.
That's not going to, I've been silver for a year and a half. Because at some points I just go, well, I have 13 level 1, so I'm good. Well, no, because they don't all work the business. And that's okay. They don't have to. But if I want to be a diamond, I need to find those who are going to run with it and work it, and help them grow. So, I don't know.
Well,
anyway. Does that all, that all makes sense, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any questions or anything, or any comments or concerns?
No, I can't think of anything.
No? Good. Well, if you do, you know where to find me.
I do.
I don't go many places. But, yeah, is there anything you want to talk about next week? Is there anything else, not with the compensation plan or the power of 3? Is there anything you need, or anything you don't, you're questioning, or?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but if I think of something, I'll message you.
Yeah, do so. And even post it just on our team page, because
yeah.
I think sometimes we're afraid to ask because we're afraid to look dumb. But
I'm not afraid to look dumb.
Good. But that's a silly mentality, because if you don't ask, you're not going to know.
Oh yeah.
So just ask. So awesome. If you don't have anything, I'm going to stop the recording and we can hang out and chat or whatever. But
alrighty.
If I can figure out how to get back to my Zoom.
I'm impressed with your technology skills.
Well, obviously I don't know how to do it. Oh, there we go. Okay. Did that take it off of there?
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay. Then I must stop recording and we can just chat.